Like, the side room was, like, kind of dark, you know? So, like, the costume is, like, purple, right? The blood totally blended right in. And I, like, persuaded my sister it wasn't, like, right to do something like that. And then, like, I took my sister to the channeling chamber.
Yes. Now I see. And you have given us a clear reason for why you didn't notice the blood.
You think? Like, thanks, Gramps.
Are you satisfied, Mr. Wright? Alright, I guess not. Very well, you may question the witness.
Yep.
Hold it! And what was your sister, Miss Mimi Miney, like at the time?
Well, she was, like, totally flipped out because she just shot Dr. Gray. But I think, like, she knew. She, like, said she did something really bad. And, like, she said she wanted to go with me to, like, apologize to Miss Morgan.
Did Mimi's spirit really say all that to you?
Like, yeah.
Whatever, man. Hold it! Was your sister calm by that time?
Like, I guess so. I guess maybe, like, taking her revenge on Dr. Gray, like, made her feel a lot better.
I'd like to feel a lot better too, Mr. Phoenix, right? The sooner the better. She said with her whip at the ready.
And, like, Miss Morgan was, like, was the only one in the channeling chamber, you know?
May I ask you one more thing, Miss Miney?
Like, sure.
Was there anything you found strange, unusual, or just out of place?
Something out of place? Huh? Like, what do you mean?
When? When you were going to the crime scene. I'm talking about when you're going to the channeling chamber, of course.
Like, no, nothing strange.
She answered rather quickly. Now what? Think harder. I know you can remember something.
I, like, totally can't.
That's not good enough. You have to explain yourself clearly to this court. Do you think, Mr. Wright, that whether or not there was something odd on the way to the channeling chamber is all that important? Of course it is! I ask because it is very important. Not that I know where I'm going with this. Very well. Miss Miney, if you will, please include a statement about this in your testimony.
Like, I don't get why, but okay. I, like, didn't see anyone on the way to, like, the channeling chamber.
Really? Somebody was fixing something up at that time. Objection! You say that you didn't see anyone on the way to the channeling chamber. However, that is impossible!
Like, what do you mean?
I'd like to introduce someone to you. This is Miss Morgan Fay's daughter, Pearl Fay.
Interesting. You have a semi-intelligent look on your face. So, what about this child?
It just so happens that at the time of the murder, Pearl was playing in the center garden.
The garden?
Yup. Which means anyone walking through the area would have seen her. So, Miss Miney, what do you have to say to that?
Objection!
As the court can see, she's a bit of an airhead. Also, she was leading her sister at that time. Did you honestly think she would have noticed a simple child playing? Preposterous.
Objection!
It's not preposterous, and I can prove it.
What sort of foolish...
There is no way someone walking along the winding way could not have noticed Pearl. Because of this. Take that! This urn is my proof.
An old cracked clay pot? What is that going to prove?
Do you know why it's cracked? It's because Pearl broke it, that's why. She broke the urn?
Why do I feel like you're about to ruin my beautiful day?
This urn was broken around the time the channeling started. And Pearl was the one who put it back together. While sitting right in the middle of Winding Way. What? Miss Miney. Pearl was there in the Winding Way at that time. She was hard at work putting the pieces of the urn back together, you see. If you couldn't see that while you were walking, I'd have to declare you legally blind. I think I have sufficiently proven one thing, Miss Miney. You are a masterful liar! Mr. Wright, you need to watch what you say. The one who needs to watch what she's saying is the witness. So, Miss Miney, tell us the truth!
About what?
About what? About where you really were at the time of the murder, of course!
Objection!
The witness just testified about that. That's right! I was, like, sleeping in the side room.
Can I really believe her? Was she really sleeping in the side room? There is no goddamn way. Your lies end here.
What do you...
The witness says that during the actual murder she was asleep in the side room. And I say that's not possible because there is clearly a contradiction here. A contradiction? Where is this contradiction? It's in her testimony. Earlier in your testimony, Miss Miney, you made the following statement.
And, like, Miss Moria was the only one in the channeling chamber, you know?
It's true that at the time both myself and Miss Hart were not there. We had gone to call the police.
So? Like, what does that, like, have to do with anything?
It's very simple. Miss Miney, how did you know that fact?
How?
I concede that Miss Fay was the only person in the channeling chamber. However, someone who was asleep in the side room could not have known that! Which means, Miss Miney, you did in fact go to the channeling chamber. However, you didn't go there by the way of Winding Way! But look at the Manor Guide map. If one were to go between the side room and the channeling chamber, one would have to use the Winding Way. Yes, that's right, Your Honor. Which is why I asked this very important question. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Miss Miney, please answer the question.
Objection!
Don't ask a question off a basis assumption, if you please. Well, I suppose since you've put it out on the table, Mr. Phoenix, right? You might as well answer the question for us. Where was the witness at the time of the murder? Now's your chance, Phoenix.
Yeah.
The only person who could have killed Dr. Gray was Eenie Miney. So now is the time to prove it.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Where was the witness when the murder took place? Not here, but here. Take that! Miss Miney was here, of course. What? But that's the channeling chamber.
Is it at a crime scene?
That's right. Miss Miney was at the scene of the crime. Order. That's why that is...
Mr. Phoenix, Wright, have you lost your mind? Yesterday's testimony established that only the victim and the defendant were in the chamber when the channeling started.
Yes, that is correct. Please, explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Simple. Miss Eenie Miney was hiding at the scene of the crime. I was hiding? Where? Like, where was I hiding?
Could you have been behind the damn folding screen? I mean, we've had that come up enough times. Take that! Here, of course. Behind the folding screen?
Don't make me say this again. Recall yesterday's testimony. There ain't no way anyone was hanging out back behind that folding screen. See, you stupid jerk! Quit being so quick to pin it on me, slimeball!
Now, Miss Miney. One so young as you shouldn't be saying...
Shut it, Gramps! As if you know exactly how old I am!
I'm sorry. Looks like the pipe's about to burst. Guess I should help it along. The witness was hiding behind the folding screen with the help of this. the help of this here clothing box. Take that! Miss Miney, how you were able to hide at the scene of the crime is very simple. You were hiding inside this box!
That tiny little box? No person can fit in that!
Sorry, but your theory has already been disproved. Lotta disproved you when she was hiding from me in it.
Objection!
That clothing box was inside you, right? Which means it has nothing to do with the murder at all. That's right. I was sleeping there, so I should know. That clothing box was there in the side room the whole time.
Mr. Wright, do you think you can prove where the clothing box was at the time of the crime?
Yeah, I can with some evidence.
And now I present the piece of evidence that will prove this clothing box was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. This here folding screen. Take that! Take a look at this clothing box.
You're so stupid.
If there's any sort of evidence in that old thing... This... what on earth?
I don't have time for you to sit there surprised. Hurry up and say it already.
There's a hole! About 8 inches off the ground!
A hole about 8 inches off the ground.
Where have you heard that before?
This is a folding screen. It has a hole that's the same height.
That's right. I hope this has opened your eyes to what has happened. At the time of the shooting, the clothing box was sitting behind the folding screen, which is why the bullet from the pistol hit both the box and the folding screen. It went through the screen and then into the box. Miss Miney, you were hiding behind the folding screen, waiting for your chance. Yes, for your chance to kill Dr. Gray. Order. So what are you saying?
Then, Mr. Phoenix Wright, what about this picture? Are you saying that the person in this photo is Miss Eenie Miney?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Miss Eenie Miney, you were hiding inside this clothing box all along. And you wore a medium's costume to masquerade as Maya Fey. To masquerade as Maya Fey? She had it planned from the very beginning. She would kill Dr. Gray and pin the blame on my client.
No, stop! I can't stand to listen to any more of this foolishness.
If that's the case, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I have a proposition. It's this whole idea that the witness moves the clothing box to the scene of the crime, pretended to be the defendant killed the victim, and then fled the scene of the crime. It's not possible for one person to do that all by herself. You're actually right on that one. Really is impossible. For one person to do all the preparations, that is.
Need I remind you, the foolish receive no mercy.
Wait! Miss Von Karma, you said it was not possible for one person, correct?
Well, you can't be serious.
Miss Miney, you had an accomplice. And your accomplice was this person. Take that!
This person...
If it wasn't someone from Curane Village, you couldn't have gotten the costume. And if it wasn't someone from the Fey household, you wouldn't have that box to use.
Morgan Fey.
Isn't that the wonderful lady witness we had earlier? What do you have to say to this, Miss Miney? You shot Dr. Gray with your own 2 hands. Do you deny it? Well, shit. I think this is what really happened. The murderer had planted herself at the scene of the crime long beforehand. Dressed in a medium's costume and wearing a wig, she pretended to be the defendant. And then, the channeling started. The murderer crept silently towards the other 2, both of whom had their eyes closed. First, she drugged Maya Fey with a strong sleeping agent. Then, she stabbed Dr. Gray with a knife. Next, she hid my client inside the clothing box. She did that so she could take Maya's place and frame her for the crime.
But that's when something unexpected happened.
Unexpected?
Yes.
Dr. Gray was actually not yet dead. With the last of his strength, he fired a shot at his attacker. And that is why the hole in the folding screen was so low to the ground. The murderer then took the gun from Dr. Gray and... After that, you and the other lady thought to break into the room? Yes, a gunshot is certainly something you wouldn't expect to hear. Which is why, upon hearing the shots, we forced our way into the channeling chamber. Miss Miney, she immediately covered her own costume with blood and pretended to be my effect.
But that sort of deception would have been easy to see through.
Which is precisely why Morgan Fay chased us out. Please, leave this area to me. Go quickly and inform the police. Hurry, before there are more victims here. What is one supposed to say? This is the real truth behind this murder. Who is that laughing at a time like this?
Oh, you simple-minded fools. I'm sorry. Are you still by chance evolving?
What is it this time? Miss Von Karma? Surely.
Of course it was me.
Do you really think someone of Von Karma blood would lose to something this petty? What in the world?
Mr. Phoenix Wright, your argument is flawed in a very crucial area. And that is, if this witness is a real murderer, why would she go through all this trouble? Huh? Working together with the medium, pretending to be one, putting on this whole act. What reason would she have to do such foolish things?
Well, that's,
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Oh, and one other thing. Why would Miss Miney want to kill Dr. Gray? Where is her motive? Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say, too. Yeah, a motive. I don't have a motive.
a motive. I can't say she has no motive here. I have to think of a motive now. What is her reason for wanting Dr. Gray dead? The reason you wanted Dr. Gray dead is this. It's the second newspaper. Take that!
Ha! Just as I thought, you bore me with your silly answers, Phoenix Wright. Just great, now even she is calling me by my full name. You think I did this to get revenge for my sister's death?
Yes. Because through that accident, you suffered a lot of hurt and pain yourself.
Don't be stupid. No one has proof that Dr. Gray drugged my sister, right?
You want to say I take revenge based on nothing? What do you mean by that?
Senile, stupid Gramps. I'm, going to explain, so, please listen, okay? It's been over half a year since I was discharged from the hospital. If I, wanted revenge, then, I wouldn't have waited this long. And besides, the guy that thought of the spirit thing was, Dr. Gray. It was, a total coincidence he asked me about it, you know?
She's back to her airhead self. However, you see...
Pathetic, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You failed to support your own theory. The end.
I think we have our answer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What Miss Miney has stated is very true. The revenge plan is overly complicated and she has no motive in the first place. Furthermore, there is no reason for Miss Morgan Fay to cooperate with this plan. You don't even have any true and decisive pieces of evidence to demonstrate your point.
So many faults, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You should really learn your place.
What happened? I thought I had it for sure.
See? That's what I told you. I'm gonna serve you a slice of humble pie.
Very well. I now conclude the cross-examination of Miss Miney.
Hold it! Your Honor, please, allow the defense 1 more minute.
All right.
You can't lose here. Have faith in yourself, Phoenix. Mia! Yes, it does sound like a ridiculously messed up plan for a murder. But, you know,
Regardless,
that girl trained for this crime.
really?
Listen, Phoenix. Everything happens for a reason. There is a reason for why she had to kill Dr. Gray.
And it is also the reason she had no choice but to kill him in this fashion. Time is up, Mr. Wright. Your final answer, please. If you want to say that you can prove Miss Miney had a motive, then why did she kill the victim in this way? Can you provide this reason?
Can I?
Can I really do this?
Yeah.
I'm not totally confident here, but I know that I must press on no matter what.
That's right, Phoenix. Only you can do this now.
I will show and substantiate the fact that Miss Miney had a motive.
Too bad. You're too late. My cross-examination has already ended, after all. Interesting. I will let you have your chance, Mr. Phoenix. What? You're supposed to be on my side! Van Karma only cares about the perfect thing. As long as you have the will to fight, I will knock you down, Mr. Phoenix. And I don't care if you are my witness. So help me, I will blow you out of my way. No way!
Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. We will continue the cross-examination after we reconvene.
Hey, wait a sec.
Alright, so we will continue this thing next time. See you then.